Hey, how
Right.
are you?
So to anyone that is watching this video, hi, I'm Julie, and we wanted to hop on and just give a few tips about forgiveness and boundaries during the holiday season especially, but also to use in your everyday life. It's really, really important for us to guide people through this period because it's such a difficult period for a lot of people, including myself.
Mhm.
So we're going to just start off by saying a little bit about ourselves. So I'm Julie. I do a lot of work with healing, specifically energy healing, NLP, things like that. So yeah, got lots of tools in my belt to help you through this period, and we're going to take you through a really beautiful process as well. So I have the beautiful Sarita joining me, and I'm going to let her say a few words about herself as well.
Hi, I hope you guys can all see me as well. I'll see if I can pin this video up there so I can say hi. So my name's Sarita. I'm originally from New Zealand, and I really love helping people in the energetic space and the physical space. And I've been a fitness instructor, personal trainer style person for the last 21 years. So I've done a lot with working with matter and changing matter, but what really matters is the matter, the grey matter, and your brain or your head. So that's my real field of interest, and have been working with the healing sort of woo-woo stuff for a couple of years now. So really excited to be helping everybody out there. So thanks. Well, Julie's going to take us away, first of all, with some forgiveness.
Okay.
So yeah, just take it away, Julie.
Will do. Okay, so if you can just do the slide, honey, for me, please.
Yeah, it should be sharing.
Yep, so just on to the first page.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yep, there we go. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so just a little bit about the importance of forgiveness, because I think a lot of us have the wrong idea about forgiveness. We think that it is for the other person's benefit. So when we have been hurt or feel disrespected by someone and we hold on to that resentment ourselves, it's actually very, very damaging for us mentally and physically. So when people talk about forgiveness, it is quite often very misunderstood. So to enable another person's behavior, we forgive so that we are able to live our lives as the best version of ourselves without resentment. We can't be responsible for others' actions, but we can be responsible for the way we react towards others' behaviors and how we allow them to affect our lives. So I'll just get you to do a quick switch, honey, please.
Yep.
When you forgive,
active?
take back your power. All good? You've gone one too many, huh? Yep, that's it.
Wait. I think this is the, oh, I don't know why it's mixing it up. Okay, sorry everybody out there. There we go. Here we go.
All good. All right, so the opposite of forgiveness is resentment, and that plays out for us emotionally and physically. Emotionally, resentment can quite often put us into victim mode, and that is definitely not a place that we want to be. So actually, I'm going to do something that we hadn't talked about. Just really quickly, bear with me, guys.
I like this. Spontaneity, excitement.
So I'm actually, let me just see if I can. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about responsibility versus victim. So just bear with me for a second while I find it, because I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think it's really important to talk about this because, yeah, okay.
100% agree, hon.
Yeah, so
it will give more context to what we're talking about as well.
Yeah. So this is, go this way, responsibility versus victim. So I'm just going to read this out really quickly just to explain the importance of this. So responsibility versus victim, if we stay in victim mode, we are really letting ourselves down. We're allowing people to take over our emotions and, just we're really not being in our own power. Whereas if we stay in responsibility mode and we take responsibility for our own actions, for our own reactions to how people treat us, that really helps us stay grounded. And it's just a much better way to be than allowing people to affect our energy, our, you know, emotions and everything. So I'm going to actually put a link up to that when we finish this. I'll put a link up. It's
that
super
would be a good
important.
idea.
Yeah. So the opposite of forgiveness is resentment, and emotionally, resentment can quite often put us into victim mode. This means we are focusing on other people's attitudes, traits, behaviors, and we take those things on board as though it is against us, and it isn't. It's their stuff. It's so important to know the difference of things being other people's stuff and not taking that on board as our own stuff. So we can take that personally. It's quite easy to fall into that trap, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips of how to avoid that. So if you can switch on to the next one for me, honey, please.
Trying that, yeah.
Perfect.
Doesn't want to listen to my my clicking, but there we go.
Technology is great.
I know. I might be just pushing the wrong button. But there we go. Next thing.
I doubt it. You're all good. So the physical side of forgiveness, this can have an effect on our physical health. If we don't deal with these emotions, it can end up causing us so much stress that we hold on to and in our bodies. And the more we let it build up, the greater amount of negative energy in our bodies. And that then turns into dense, massive energy. And this is what leads to many physical ailments, diseases. A lot of people think that, you know, physical pains and things that we have in our body come from something else, but it's actually just our emotions just get more and more dense and they create these problems. I think it's something like 93% of it is caused by emotions.
Wow.
So we need to learn how to let go of the emotions and not allow them to build up in our body. So releasing resentment. When you make the decision to forgive and let go of resentment, you will open your heart up to new love. Woo!
And that's what we want.
Boundaries and peace within yourself. And that's what we need, especially with, you know, the physical ailments that I was talking about. If you are able to release these emotions, those quite often disappear. Not going to guarantee it, but quite often they do just go. By letting these things go, you are honoring yourself and your loved ones, because when you're allowing other people to affect your energy, it's going to stop how much love you can give to other people, because you're so kind of caught up in that trap, and we don't want that. We want to absolutely get rid of that. So I'm going to be taking you through in a minute a beautiful process. It's a forgiveness hypnosis. But before I do, I have a little bit of a task for you to do. So for anyone that's watching this back, I just need to plug my computer in because I forgot. 1 second. Luckily, I'm doing it now and not mid through the hypnosis. So that's fine.
But bonus.
Yeah, all good. Good to go. So I'm going to take you through this hypnosis. But before I do, I've got a little bit of a task for you to do. It's extremely profound. And so for anyone watching this back, you can just pause this video at any time and go and do this. So we're going to do a fuck you letter. Excuse my language, but I swear a lot anyway. But it is very, very helpful to do this. So we're going to do the fuck you letter. First of all, I would like everyone to, whether you're watching back or watching live, to just write down who you would like to forgive. So you can do this at any point with a certain amount of people, however many people you need to do it with. But for today, just do one. And it's so, so simple. You literally just need to write down who you want to forgive. And then you write down all the things that they have put you through, how they've made you feel. And you can get as angry as you want doing this process. Sarita, I'll just get you to skip on to the next page, please.
On the next page, yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So this isn't for anyone else's benefit. It's purely for your benefit. No one needs to see this letter, so you can let everything out. it doesn't matter. No one's going to see it. So it's like, just write down absolutely everything. So for example, and hopefully you can see it on the screen. So you'll just need a pen, paper for now, and then you'll need a lighter and somewhere safe to burn it, because we're just going to let it go, let it transmute into the universe and just get rid of all of it. I've done this many, many times, probably too many, but every single time I do it, it just has an amazing effect. So the kind of things that you want to write down is, first of all, who hurt you? What do you need to forgive? What damage did it cause you? How did it make you feel? How did they affect your life? How would your life be different if they hadn't have done this to you? How has it affected your loved ones? How has this held you back in your life? And how have you allowed this to turn you into a victim? So I just want everyone that's watching to just write down absolutely everything you can. And once you've done that, you're just going to crumple it up and then just set fire to it and just let it go. Okay? So because we're just doing this not necessarily live, we'll just skip on to the next one, because people can pause that and just do it in their own time.
Yep. So if you're watching this back, pause.
Yeah, if you're watching it back, just
do your letter.
Yeah. So I would suggest to take about 5 minutes in doing it. Just take 5 minutes, just write down everything that you want.
Everything until your hand is sore, until your page is ripped apart. Like, you let out all the anger that you can.
Absolutely. Put on like some heavy metal music or whatever music makes you feel like you really want to get all of those emotions out. And, you know, it's not like, oh, this person did this. It's like, oh, this fucking person did this fucking to me and it made me feel this fucking way. Like, get it all out. Like, don't hold back.
Yeah, and so every sentence starts with fuck you for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, sorry to everyone who's listening, but yeah, strong language must be used in this letter.
We're allowed to swear. Everyone's allowed to swear.
Appropriate for this letter.
So yeah, just absolutely lay everything down. If you happen to have a green pen, because that's the color of removal. So if you happen to have a green pen,
it's one of these clicky pens. 99 cents at Officeworks, guys. Get yourself a bunch.
Even in Coles, I think I bought some yesterday. I've left them out the room actually, but I bought some yesterday and it's like $3.99 for 3 pens. So, you know.
Oh, wow. There you go.
So green is the color of removal. So when you're writing the fuck you letter, you want to try to write that in green, but it doesn't matter too much. And then once you have done that and you've got everything out, like all the anger, all the emotions towards the people that have done this to you, then just come back and replay the video, and then we're going to go into the next stage. So the next stage is the gratitude and forgiveness letter. So this is then putting more positivity back into the situation that you've just got all the bad emotions out. Now we're going to replace that with positivity. So this is the gratitude and forgiveness letter. So now that you've let all of these emotions go, it is time to write a letter of gratitude and forgiveness. What have you learned from this person? What did it teach you? There's always a positive that comes out of a negative situation. How has this benefited your life? How has it made you stronger? What can you thank them for? So Sarita will know all about this as well, because we've both done Tony Robbins events. So, and it says at the bottom of the page here, if you blame them for the bad, you also have to blame them for the good. And as I said, Sarita will know a lot about this. So for example, I didn't have a great relationship with my dad. It wasn't a great childhood. There was a lot of anger and a lot of resentment. And going through these kind of processes, I learned to not only let go of that and free myself of emotions, and that did help alleviate physical pain as well. But also, I've got a great relationship with my dad now, because I had to thank him for what he put me through in the past, because it has turned me into such a strong person, and it has given me the tools to help other people through my experiences. So I have to thank him for that, you know, like.
That's beautiful.
I love him to bits. I was on the phone to him for an hour last night. We never had that relationship. And once you get rid of the resentment and everything, you can really start valuing people. And another thing I want to say is that everybody does the best that they can with the tools they have. So if people are hurting you, have hurt you, done wrong by you, it's not on you. Don't take it personal. It is the best that they can do at that time with what they have, you know. So that's a really important thing to remember, and I think that is so helpful in moving forward in a relationship with someone, if you can, or you might need to disassociate from that person, and that's also fine. But we just need to know that everyone does the best they can at that time with what they have, you know. So
and there's a beautiful quote. Could I share the Maya Angelou quote there?
Yeah.
So I'm going to paraphrase and probably destroy it, but Maya Angelou has that amazing quote that says people do the best that they can with what they know until they know better, then they have to do better. Yeah, I totally ruined it, but Maya Angelou, there was a bit of Maya Angelou in there.
We'll try and find that afterwards, and we'll post that somewhere as well.
Yeah, I need to write that down.
I'm just joking, honey. Yes, so I'll get you to flick onto the next page, please, Han.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Absolutely. Oh, that's my one.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so go back, sorry.
Which one are we doing? Oh, do you want to go back to the forgiveness process?
Yeah, no, yeah, so no, go again.
Back again?
Not back, no, forward again.
Forward again.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Here we go. We're a well-oiled machine, aren't we, Jules?
I know, again. Sorry. It's our first time, so bear with us, guys.
Here we go.
Okay, so the kind of things that you want to write in this letter is just to, you know, really point out. So when you're writing this letter, I said in the past one, the fuck you letter, to write it in green because that's the color of removal. When you're writing this one, try to write it in red if you can. Sarita's on it. Because that is the color of manifestation. So that solidifies things. So if you do have a red pen, it's best to write this in red. So the kind of things that you want to put in this letter is just thanking them, you know, for what you've done, what they've done for you, and how it's benefited you and made you stronger, etc., etc. But so with the last letter, you're getting all your anger out. So you want like an angry song. This letter, you want to put on like a nice peaceful song and just really write it with so much gratitude, so much forgiveness, and just really, really, really embody the fact that whoever has hurt you, really have a look at how it's really benefited you, benefited the people around you, and just write down every single positive thing that you can. You're not going to take this one outside and burn it. This one stays with you. Okay, so you can put it on your wall. You can, you know, record you even saying it if you'd rather do that. But so I'm just, Sarita, we didn't discuss this either, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about cellular memory.
Yes, so, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I'll try and get all my facts right. Like, pick me up on my mistakes if you need to.
Fact check.
So basically, I don't know. I think we've got something like 3 trillion cells in our bodies, something ridiculous.
You know what, Jules? Everyone says something different. I've heard 50 trillion, 70 trillion. I've heard 30 trillion. You know, anywhere from 30 to 70 trillion. I've heard. Yeah.
But what I do know is that all of our cells get replaced every 30 days. So they've only got a 30-day life cycle. So when you are writing a letter like this, and you can't have anything negative in it, it has to be all positive. When you're writing a letter like this, you read it. So this is some homework. Sorry, guys. You read it for 30 days. I actually keep mine like beside my bed on my wall, and I read it every morning. I also keep a voice recording of the letter so that if I forget to do it in the morning, I'll just play it in the car. Because if we listen to that for 30 days, if you listen to it 30 days straight, all of the old cellular memory with the negative stuff that we've got rid of if you're reading these affirmations and positive signs every day, that's all your cells are going to be left with. The cellular memory of the negative stuff has gone, and it will all be replaced with the positive stuff. Like, it's magic.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's so, so cool. So yeah, literally 30 days of reading this and all the shit has gone.
Yeah. And it's
amazing.
not like, it's not like work. It's like brain food. You know how you get up and you eat breakfast in the morning? Well, you've got to, load up the good programs for the day. So exactly what Julie said, like, have it close by you so you can get up and download the good stuff before you go on moving about in your day. And there'll be people that you meet throughout the day that will trigger and test how much forgiveness you've got to go. You'll be stuck in traffic. Someone will cut you off. Someone will, well, it's that time of year, and that's what we're talking about. It's that time of year where we'll be in the shopping mall and people will be rude because it's a very stressful time at this time of year. There's a lot of people in the shops. So there's a lot of energy bumping around in the malls and people consuming things and making sure that they've got the perfect present for each person and everything. And they've played Santa perfectly. Sorry, kids that are listening. You
don't show this to your kids.
There's just so much energy running around out there at this time of year that you're going to bump in and be tested to see how far you are in your forgiveness. So what Julie said, just uploading these good things into your brain for 30 days straight is going to reprogram the cellular memory, and all the new cells that are being created with the thought processes of this gratitude space rather than thought processes of holding on to that resentment and possibly creating some not so nice diseases in your body and in your cells. So
and like Sarita's saying, and that's the reason that we were putting this together, is because this is so beneficial for everyday life. But coming into the holiday season, I mean, I know I've got family members that I don't talk to, and I think that was kind of part of the reason why we wanted to put this together. It's a really difficult time of year if you have issues with those kind of people. So doing the fuck you letter and then the gratitude and forgiveness letter is a brilliant way of, being able to go into those situations in the holidays and be like, okay, I feel a bit cleansed from this. I feel more powerful, more peaceful. So on that note, I'm going to take you all through, and obviously you can just watch this back, a little bit of a light hypnosis, a forgiveness hypnosis. So I'm just going to say, this isn't a hypnosis that is going to send you over. I'm not going to get you to try and bark like a dog or anything like that.
It's not stage hypnosis.
It's not stage hypnosis, no, not at all. It's just a really kind of tranquil hypnosis that you can play back anytime, and it will just allow you to let go of those resentments and any bad feelings that you may be harboring towards people. So leading up to, the reason we did it at the beginning of December is so that you can listen back to it anytime you want. And if you're feeling like anxious about seeing certain family members and things like that, so I'm going to do that. So as I said, it's not, and as Sarita said, it is not a stage hypnosis, it's just a light hypnosis. So I'm going to get Sarita, if it's okay, to do we're just going to put like a backing on.
Oh yes, you I think have to do that for yourself.
Well, I'm just going to step out of it. So if you just put like a nice screen on, I'm actually going to just put some music on as well, guys. So just bear with me. So before I take people through this hypnosis, I've done this one a couple of times and oh my God, I love it. It just can't even really explain how much it's helped me. It's just really, really beautiful. So, you know, you can kind of keep someone in your mind if you want to when you're listening to this. But yeah, it's just a really, really peaceful hypnosis. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. I'm just going to find some music to put on.
I got this crazy idea.
And the first one I came to, Sarita, you know, I keep seeing 111. Hey?
What? What have you found?
I keep seeing 111 all the time.
Oh, yeah.
The first one I came to, it was like 1111. I'm like, okay, that's
beautiful.
the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna step out a screenshot.
Is just in, so you've just come in on time, Serena, for the forgiveness hypnosis. So just lay back. I hope you're comfortable. You've got some water, and if you just lay back and relax, Serena. Julie's going to take you through a beautiful hypnosis. Yeah. Julie, I'm just going to stop your video and I'm just going to leave mine on.
Yeah, thank you.
So that hopefully everyone can see just me. All right. Are you comfortable, Serena? Sorry. Serena?
Hi, yeah, I'm good.
You're good? You're comfortable? How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I just managed to get in on my phone because I didn't have the Zoom app. So
okay, brilliant. Well,
can we see Serena's face quickly?
Yeah. Yeah. Show us.
Moment.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So what I'm going to do, Serena, is just hit mute for you, and I'm just going to put a screen up of just tranquility, and then just hope you're comfy. You've got some water. It's just going to be a short gentle forgiveness process for you to enjoy.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Nice to have you here, Serena. So I'm just going to read out this hypnosis for you.
Here we go. Oh, sorry, we're just having a little technical issue, Serena. I'm trying to get Julie's video, Julie's video, audio back on, and I don't think that she can hear me. Jules, can you turn your audio back on? Julie, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Thank you. I've been sitting here going, oh my gosh, she's probably talking and I can't hear you. Okay.
I was talking, but that's okay. Hang on 1 second. I think it's because you got rid of my video.
Oh, hang on. If I spotlight the video here, then you'll need to turn your audio back on.
Okay, I think I've done it, yeah?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay, sorry guys,
Technical difficulties,
Pretty
Serena.
new at this. Okay, so
Here we go.
all right, so I'm just going to start that. So as I said earlier, I'm not sure how much people heard, so it's just a very light hypnosis, and I'm just going to go straight back into that now. So just sit back, relax, and just close your eyes. In just a few moments, you're going to be more relaxed than you've ever known yourself to be. I'm going to mention certain parts of your body, and as I do, I want you to just feel that part begin to relax. Just feel that part relaxing, and take in a few deep breaths. And as you exhale, notice how you continue to relax even more now. In order to help you to relax, I want you to imagine yourself in a wonderfully magical forest. It's almost nighttime, and the sky is a beautiful indigo blue. The stars are coming out, and the moon is lighting up the rich forest trees. Off in the distance, you hear the hypnotic sounds of a bubbling brook, and the crickets seem to be lulling you to sleep. And as you lie motionless, you begin noticing a wonderful white light just above your head. This white light is the most relaxing light you could imagine. And as it begins to lower around the crown of your head, you seem to be touched with a desire and willingness to relax deeper and deeper with every breath you take. Continuing to lower now, it begins to touch the forehead, and as it does, I want you to feel all the little frown lines, all the little worry lines in the forehead just seem to disappear. The forehead smooths out, feels so relaxed, and you feel this relaxing light coming around the eyes. Now the eyelids seem to become very, very heavy. So heavy, they don't even seem to want to open. They may flutter a little bit, and that's okay. Just feel how heavy they are. And as the relaxation comes down around the facial muscles now, all the little muscles in the facial area begin to relax. Feel this relaxation now around the lower jawbone and behind the ears, so that all the little nerve endings behind the ears just seem to relax as you continue deeper, deeper, and even deeper. The relaxation goes to the back of the neck now, down around the shoulders. So much tension seems to go to our shoulders, but now you feel the shoulders just begin to relax, and you feel them drop a little. The relaxation goes to the backbone now, and as it does, down the spinal column, it seems to go out to the sides, so that every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber in the back just relaxes now. This warm sense of relaxation comes to the back of the thighs now and into the hollow of the knees, around the calves, around the heels, to the bottom of the feet, and each and every toe just relaxes even more and more as you go deeper and deeper, calm, very peaceful, very relaxed. And now, if you need to, just adjust your body, knowing that with every move you make, you'll become even more relaxed. We are going to proceed to relax the rest of you now, starting with the throat muscles. Feel the throat muscles just start to relax. The relaxation comes down the front of the shoulders, down the upper arms, over the elbows, down the forearms to the hands, and each and every finger, relaxing more and more as you go deeper and deeper. Feel the relaxation now coming back to the throat muscles, into the chest, continuing down to the stomach area, and all the muscles and organs within the stomach just relax. Now I want you to imagine yourself standing in this forest. And at your feet is a beautiful stone stairway that leads downward into a very safe valley of relaxation. We're going down these stairs now, and as I count backwards from 10 to 0, each number will take you even deeper and deeper. When you are ready to go down the stairs, just know that it is a safe place. 10. Take that first step down. 9. Deeper, deeper. 8. Way down now. 7. Deeper, deeper. 6. Feeling so relaxed now. 5. Deeper and deeper. 4. You are going into a state of relaxing hypnosis now. 3. Going deeper. 2. Relax now, feeling peace and tranquility. More relaxed and peaceful than you have known yourself to be. We're going to take the last step down, and we're going to enter a beautiful place of relaxing hypnosis. Now I want you to imagine living your life without fear or judgment. Imagining a life where you can release the burden of what others have done and you no longer feel that inside of you. How would your life look now? Just imagine what your life would be like if you released the burden and forgave. I wonder if the plans for the future would be different. No judgment would be a magical thing. To release a burden would be a magical thing. As you walk down this magical path, you see a fork in the road. On the left is the road you have always walked down. On the right is a road filled with gold, diamonds, and sparkles, and it is a very well-lit road. The road on the right is full of love, forgiveness, and it holds no limits. It is the road to self-healing and finding the true meaning of life. First, we take a short trip down the road you have always taken, the easy road, but not always the best road to take. You walk along this road of holding on to burdens and being a victim of others' choices. Let's jump to 1 year from today, and there in front of you is a mirror. You take a good look at yourself and you ask yourself, how do I look? Am I happy? Do I feel smarter for continuing down this easy road? You look behind you and see all the missed opportunities and the happiness you have missed. All the debris of self-sabotaging, not being who you are meant to be. Keep walking up that road and we will jump to 3 years. You see that same mirror and you ask yourself the same question, how do I look? Am I happy? Do I feel smarter for taking this road? You look behind you and you see all the missed opportunities, happiness that you have missed in the last 3 years, all the debris of holding on to the burden of others' mistakes, not being who you are meant to be. Keep walking up that road and we will jump to 10 years. You see the same mirror. You ask yourself the same questions. How do I look? Am I happy? Do I feel smarter for taking this road? This time you are going to look back at that 10-year-long road of taking the same road, seeing all the missed opportunities, the debris that has littered you for 10 years. Now come back to now. You are now back at the fork in the road and you have such relief because you did not choose to take that road. Let's explore the golden high road of loving yourself, honoring yourself, taking judgment away and forgiving. You now know that forgiveness is a gift for you, not for the person that did you wrong. Let's place your first step onto that golden diamond encrusted, happy, fun, exciting and passionate, healing high road. Just feeling those feelings. See the things you are seeing. Feel the feelings you are feeling. Now let's jump to 3 months down that high road of love and forgiveness. You see a beautiful gilded mirror coming into view. You see a reflection in the mirror smiling at you with relief, pride, and love. You get closer and you notice it is you. As you see yourself 3 months from today in the mirror, ask yourself, how do I look? Am I happy? Do I feel smarter for taking this road? Keep walking up that road and we will jump to 6 months. You see that same mirror with that reflection smiling at you with relief, pride, and love. You ask yourself the same questions. Am I happy? Do I feel smarter for taking this road? Keep walking up that road and we'll jump to a year. The same beautiful mirror with the same amazing reflection that is you, smiling with relief, pride, and love. You look deep into the eyes in the mirror, your beautiful eyes, and you feel this sense of relief and love for you. You look around and you see the beauty in the world, and you come back to now, and as you are now in deep relaxation, you know your life will be full of acceptance, forgiveness of self and others, love, hope, health. Now is the time to feel all the love you have ever given to others and turn that love into your own heart chakra. Feel that love heal yourself and send this love back to yourself. It's such a good feeling to have, and anyone can do it. You are now on the path of choosing to love yourself now. This is who you are. This is who you are meant to be. This is what you are supposed to experience. Now choose to be love, and you are love. Just take a few moments to take in those emotions of choosing the path of forgiveness and gratitude, and choosing to live your life feeling more free and having more love. And just let that go through your body for a couple of minutes. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the room. Okay. Are you still awake, Sarita?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Such a nice process, hey?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Gotta get the brain back online.
A bit of a shake out.
Yeah, shake out. We should dance after that. And I'll just, I don't like the those backgrounds. They don't feel authentic to me. These fake backgrounds that make me look like I'm in the Northern Lights.
Yeah, the Northern Lights. So it's got. I was trying to think of the other name, but
yeah. So thanks, Julie. I hope everybody out there just gets a little bit more water in there.
Yeah.
Most of
Definitely,
you would know.
anyone that's watching this back and has listened to that hypnosis, please stay hydrated, because it will create a big energy shift within your body.
Yeah.
And it's very, very important to keep hydrated after something like that, because even if it doesn't feel too dramatic at the time, over the next couple of days, if you've kind of immersed yourself in that, there will be a lot of energy shifting around, and we need to stay hydrated to facilitate that.
Yes, exactly what Julie said. Yes, as you know, our bodies are made of mostly water, and water is one of the most conductive frequencies, or conductive materials or gases in the known earthly plane. So yeah, when you do something like that, you do need to keep hydrated to keep the frequencies flowing, the good frequencies flowing. So yeah, there's another woo-woo explanation to awesomeness.
So I'm just going to add on that. So I do quite a lot of healings, and excuse me, quite often after healings, this wasn't a very intense process, but quite often after healings, there's so much energy moving around. And if people don't drink water, you can actually get kind of flu-like symptoms. So any kind of healings that you go through, it is just imperative that you drink lots and lots of water. Otherwise you could feel quite sick from it. So, and that's perfectly normal. But yeah, it's amazing how it works with the energy moving through the body and how it makes you feel. But we kind of quite often feel worse before
feeling better.
And feel better. Yeah. So, yeah, very important.
There's so many systems of the body, isn't there? And lymphatic systems do need a lot of water to flush out the junk from your trunk, as so to say. And got to keep that river of life flowing through our body through that lymphatic system. So if you have a massage or an adjustment at a physio or chiro, same thing, just drinking a lot of water is to keep the fluids flowing around, taking out the toxic stuff, toxins.
Yeah, beautiful. So I think, Sarita, now you're going to take us through boundaries, yes?
Yeah, now that I feel completely relaxed and open to anything. So I've got the important task of helping you with boundaries today through this season leading up to Christmas. So I don't want to scare anyone, but we're doing this on the 1st of December, which means there's only 23 and a half days if you think of the time. The morning's already gone. To do whatever it is that you do around this time of year. So first really have to sort of start off by just defining what are boundaries, because being brought up on a large family like mine, boundaries sort of were when you put a line between your bed and your sister's bed in a room with 3 beds and said, don't come near my stuff, you know. that was the only sort of boundaries that we sort of knew about growing up as kids. But there's sort of 4 different boundaries to our being. So the definition that I feel most sort of describes a boundary to people is the willingness to be authentic to yourself instead of pleasing others. So defining what's not okay, what is okay for you. So I've got this little slide up here, sharing this. So I'll just explain how it looks. So in your body, in your gut kind of thing, is an emotional response usually to what somebody says. So if they ask you, hey, do you want to go out and do this and this and that and the other, and it either will feel right for you or it won't feel quite right for you. There's also this sort of neutral line in the middle where you're sort of on the fence. You don't really care either way. You're like, I'm easy. I'll do whatever. Cool. I'm up for anything. That's usually me. But yeah, there's usually a little, oh, that feels good. Yes, let's do it. Oh, I'm not sure about that. I can't really fit that into the schedule, or I can only do that if I can do that. So just listening to that gut reaction of what feels good and what feels bad in your body is a good way to sort of gauge your boundaries. And sometimes something feels not so good, but you can't even explain it or put your finger on it. And you just have to just go with what your body's telling you and just go, well, it's not really feeling good for me, so I can't do that at this time. Anyway.
Yeah. I think I just want to touch on that as well,
Yeah.
if that's okay. I think people underestimate their gut instinct. I think we actually hold on to so many emotions in our gut, and if something is feeling uneasy, like, you know, it's kind of like a cliche, the gut instinct, but it's very true. If something isn't feeling right in your gut, it's probably not right.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Right. And if we tangent here for a moment, your gut is so closely linked to your brain.
Yeah.
With all the research and listening that I do, there's many people that resonate with that. How serotonin is we've found, the latest research is saying that serotonin is actually stored or released in the gut. So they're trying to figure out which it is, but it's very linked to your gut health. So serotonin, obviously, is that feel good, get you out of bed hormone. So we're finding that that's actually stored in your gut. So really important to go with your gut, so to speak. Yeah.
I think people think that that's like a phrase that people use, but it is actually more than a phrase.
More than a phrase. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Very
Thanks
important.
for touching on that, Jules.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 4 boundaries that you may not really be aware of is they're also energetic boundaries, but in the physical world, what we'll talk about for the 4 boundaries is the physical boundaries, number 1. So to explain that is our body, our space, where we live, our cars, phones, our property, all of that sort of stuff. And the violations that you might notice of this boundary can be when someone's standing too close, aka less than 1.5 meters. Thanks, 2020. Or they're touching us and we don't feel comfortable with that. They're using our things, or they're coming into our space without consent, and they're reading through our messages on our phones or our emails, or reading our diary, or, you know, those kinds of physical boundary violations. So you have an absolute right to say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with that. You know, you can always say that. And I guess we fear that repercussion or making people angry, but you have a right to your physical space. So there you go. The second one is the emotional boundary. So the emotions that we experience. You have an absolute right to experience every one of your emotions, and there is a lot of them. If you love labels, you can play with labeling. What emotion is that coming through? What emotion is that am I feeling? So you have that absolute right to experience the feelings and the emotions that you feel. And the violations of this boundary will come through when we're mostly with our family, our parents, our siblings, everyone that's sort of got a bit of a right to how you feel, because you've all been brought up the same way. So the violations of this boundary is when you're blamed for others' emotions and expected to take responsibility for another's emotions. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, you've intentionally hurt someone and you then you are kind of responsible for that. But if you've said something without the intent of hurt, and someone's taken that on in a very personal way, then and then they're expecting you to take responsibility for that emotion when you've said, look, this was my intent, I did not mean it that way, then, you know, that you've delivered your part of the street. You've delivered your stuff. Now they've got to work on their stuff. So anyway, so you don't have to be responsible for another's emotions. And when you take on others' pain and feel responsible for their pain, then that's another thing. So those first 2 boundaries are quite, you know, normal. Most people will know those boundaries. Now the mental boundary, the third boundary, it's a different one. And I might tangent here for a moment. Hopefully you guys will stay with me. But the thoughts that we have. So the thoughts that we have sort of run like a freight train around our brain about, some people say we've got about 60,000 thoughts a day. And most of them are always the same ones. Like you get up, oh, I have to go to it. You know, those kinds of thoughts that just truck along around our head. And if you don't have a sort of a mindfulness practice or a way to sort of identify and call out those thoughts, like, oh, there's a thought, oh, there's a thought, and sort of not buy into the story of that thought, because they'll just be circling. They'll just be gone 60,000 times a day, same ones, yeah. So those thoughts that we have.
Of that, by the way.
You put it?
I'm so guilty of that.
Yeah, and you just like.
Not good for that.
Sorry, Julie. You've also brought up that I think that might be helpful to you guys out there about your mental boundaries and your thought processes. You know, if you're in a highly stressed job or a highly stressed state, and you're kind of losing sleep about something, and you're worrying about something, especially around this time of year. Oh, I haven't got that present for that person. I mean, that's a great problem to have, right? But we could be waking up in the middle of the night, and I find that between that 2 o'clock, at sort of 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning, actually, around the 2 o'clock mark, when our liver is doing its processing and its healing, and it might be waking you up, requiring more water, your brain is on the panic train. Have you guys noticed that? Is it just me? So the brain will really go on a panic train. All you need is water to help your liver to process, but it will go into the darkest spaces and the darkest folds of your mind at between 1 and 3 in the morning. Have a little experiment. Tell me if I'm right. But those times is when I call her the banshee. She's out and about, like, oh my gosh, what you said today, you offended that person. Gosh, you've really done something wrong there. What are you going to do about that? And the banshee is out. Oh my God, everybody hates me. Oh my gosh, you know, like the panic buttons are going da 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 da, and it's like, why are you thinking that? That's a bit weird. Yeah. So it's really interesting. Tell me if you guys experience that. That is what I've noticed when I'm dehydrated. If I drink alcohol, but between 1 and 3 in the morning, it's the liver. It's the liver just asking for more water to help it with its toxins.
Totally get that.
You know? Yeah. So okay, I'm glad it's resonating with you, Jules. Anyway, all these thoughts, just little, you know, electronic pulses going through your brain. Okay, so if we identify them as that, we have thousands of them. However, those thoughts can be implanted, kind of thing, in those early years. So all the thoughts we have are what our parents have told us or taught us, and they have their best intentions. They really do, and they've done the best with what they have. But they've told us what we should think about certain things. And you may experience repeated loopings of things people have said to you about how you should think and behave and what you should look like, etc. So if you've been in a relationship where those mental boundaries haven't been very solid, and a partner's told you, well, you shouldn't wear that, that looks horrible, or you know, like, oh, you shouldn't say those things, or this is how you should act, you know. Hundreds of us, thousands of us that have been in or are in those relationships. So just have a look at those boundaries that people are crossing about what they think that you should think. And
can I say something really quickly?
Absolutely. Please do.
So just wanted to say that most of our programming that goes through our whole adult life, if we don't deal with it, 90% of our programming actually happens between 0 and 7 years old. So before we're really aware of what is happening, our programming most of it took place between 0 and 7 years old, and between, I think it's 6 to 16 years old, kids think that everything is their fault.
It's actually
that's just a fact. Like,
it's actually 2 to 16 kids think it's their fault.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I've noticed about being a parent myself is that kids see your behavior, and it's absolutely true that monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
But also they see your energy. They feel your energy. Like kids, as mothers, kids have been inside you. They know your body inside out, literally, because that was the first thing they heard was your heartbeat, your voice. All of that was being programmed in the womb. And there's now a lot of trauma research. So what the mother experiences, the fetus experiences, and then those hormones of stress are what the baby's living in. And so that's why we say rest when you're pregnant. You know, get as much sleep as you can. You know, really, really look after your body when you're pregnant. Not, you know, binge and watch Netflix and eat ice cream. Just really look after your body when you're pregnant. And so, and also with the training that Julie and I have done as well, that DNA.
Yeah.
So at a cellular level, that fetus, if it's a girl baby coming through, she's already got all her eggs that she will release from her body in her entire life. So those eggs are sitting inside your little baby, inside your stomach, when you're having all these experiences. And you, as an egg, were inside your mum, and your mum was inside her mum. So it goes back generations, those at a cellular level, those traumas that the mother and the baby feel united. It's incredible.
It goes back to 7 generations, right?
7 generations that we know of and can prove, science can prove. And I think it even goes deeper. But what am I? I'm just one person. What do I know? Anyway, sorry, we digress.
Sorry, guys, but we get a bit deep into this stuff, so apologies.
I'm just really passionate about the whole thing, and I can't stop. Like,
no, I'm the same. So yeah,
get excited. Anyway, so the mental boundaries, they're all linked to all that trauma patterning throughout the whole history. So the thoughts we have are not always our own. I was just trying to say that. So that was a very long-winded way to say. Our next boundary.
We got there.
Our next boundary is our spiritual boundary. And whether or not you believe in any sort of religion or spirituality or energy, or my grandma said there's nothing after death. You know, so whatever your belief, you do have an energy surrounding you. You are an electrical sort of piece of equipment. So anyway, but how you choose to experience your connection to the energy that surrounds us, and we're all connected to, is your choice. You are absolutely entitled to experience the connection to yourself and your source energy, or God, or Allah, whatever you want to call it. We're entitled to connect to that, and we're entitled to shine that. So we're entitled to our soul, basically. If you believe it or not, in souls, that's what I'm going to call it. But each person has an energy around them, and they tend to radiate that energy. So when people are violating your spiritual boundaries, it's maybe telling you what they believe and that you should believe it too, or they're telling you what to believe. And they're not being respectful of other people's beliefs or systems of religion, or other people's systems of connecting to their spirit. And you may have an awareness of this when you're near someone who's not connected into themselves. That can really drain you. So just protecting those spiritual boundaries is a bit of a process, and there's this beautiful process that I can do to, you know, re-strengthen those 4 boundaries as well. It's really one of my favorites, because it's so quick and it's so instant, the change that I see in people. And it's,
I'm looking forward to doing that process with you.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
I haven't had it done yet, guys, but I'm really looking forward to doing it with her.
Fresh. So those are the 4 boundaries, and this is how we can navigate those boundaries of someone else. So saying yes when you mean no is so common, and if you're a people pleaser like me, I have been a lot of the time. You say yes, but you really mean no. So when you say no, you kind of give yourself permission to be authentic to you and give clarity to the other person. So that's really, really a good and loving gift. So we've got to all sort of go, no, I'm not available. And you don't have to give reason or anything. Just a no, I'm not available for that time, or a no, I can't do that this week, or a no, feeling safe in the no is really something you can give yourself. Being authentic in your no, and being authentic in your yes as well. So when you say yes, really mean it, like feel it in your body. Yes, I'm excited to do that. And then, yeah, it'll feel good. But if you say yes, but you mean no, you end up in this kind of resentment place with the person. So you get resentment at them and anger at yourself. It's all a shit show, really. Sorry, guys out there. But you're letting yourself down.
I'm apologising for swearing because I have sworn so much. It makes me look bad for apologising for it. Okay.
I try to not be such a trucker. I try to not be a potty mouth. It doesn't always work. Anyway, but
don't make me look bad.
When you say yes but mean no, you're letting yourself down, and that's not acting in alignment with yourself. So yeah, saying no might feel quite uncomfortable for the initial part. There might be a period of discomfort with the other person, but it's pioneering that new ground through a relationship, a new way to navigate the space between relating to each other. Yeah.
And if I can just say something really quickly, it also, if you're saying no, if you're saying yes to things that aren't in alignment with you, you're closing doors to things that are in alignment with you. So it's so imperative to be authentic to yourself and say no to things that aren't in alignment with you, so that you can attract your tribe. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's taken me a long time to understand that, but I'm now very good at saying I was just gonna she's gonna touch on that in a second. But yeah, I've just got really, really good at saying no, thank you, it's not for me. And then when you do that, you kind of close doors that aren't in alignment with you, and you're inviting in your tribe and situations and energies that are in alignment with you. So yeah, don't cancel those out. Like, it's really, really important.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing up nah, Julie, because that's the next thing.
That leads us really nicely. How smooth is that? I didn't even mean to do it.
I know. I was like, wow, you've been researching this one. You've seen the stuff. No, so nah, and my partner brought it up to me last night when I was showing him everything. He said that nah is alive and well in Australia too. He's got YouTube videos on it and everything. So nah, I just wanted to bring an example to light. Is really popular in New Zealand. We've got t-shirts and things like that. So what we say is, yeah, nah, and like, yes, I agree with you, but nah, not feeling it. But we always say yes before we'll say no. I like just try and soften the no. It's very, very bizarre, and I catch myself doing it quite often. Anyway, we are so programmed in New Zealand to be nice because it's such a small country, such a small population of people, that we just know that what goes around comes around. There's like 1 degree of separation. We're going to see that person again. Anyway, so we're a nation of nice, but we really struggle in New Zealand to really sort of express what we really want. We also got that tall poppy syndrome. We've got tall poppy in Australia too. So if we do too well, people are going to cut us down. So we're always sort of playing ourselves down. We're not like America, who are like promoting ourselves and I want to be the president and all that sort of stuff. If we did that in New Zealand, we'd be like, dude, what are you doing, bro? Yeah. So nah is like that playing small, softening the no. Yes, and it's not good for other emotions like the passive aggressiveness that can come through from nah, like we just discussed, because it's not in alignment. And then the domestic violence rates in New Zealand are huge, especially after our team loses. But it is a beautiful place. It's not all bad, but it's interesting to look at that nah kind of societal thing that happens in those spaces down under here. So anyway, we are a nation of people pleasers, and that might be why we've got such great service at restaurants.
Yes, we could definitely bring some of that to WA, I feel.
Yeah. So nah. Anyway, see if you can catch yourself saying those things. I don't know if it exists in cultures outside Australia and New Zealand, but let us know. So anyway, why do we let our boundaries down? And what makes us so bad at boundary setting? What makes us so people pleasing and wanting to, do everything that everyone else wants us to do, but nothing that we want to do? Hello, mums. Everyone's first, and we're like, yeah. So what it is we learn this behavior, and it's through our attachments to our parents, our first relationship. So it's really conditioned, like Julie was saying, in those 1 to 7 years, those first 7 years of life. So, and it's part of that limbic system, the ancient sort of part of the brain that goes, to survive, I must stay connected, stay attached, and stay within the tribe. To, like, it's for safety that we people please. So the attachment behaviors with our parents are our first relationships. So to be accepted and loved, what did we have to do for our parents? So have a look at those relationships for you. You might like to write that down. Just do a little bit of a questionnaire for yourself, like, what did I have to do or be, or who did I have to be for my parents to love me?
Yes, Sarita, I'm sorry to interject. I think I'll add a link to this as well. I'll make up a questionnaire with a few of those questions, because I think, like you said, that's super, super important for us to look back at who we needed to be for our parents. And again, it comes back to the Tony Robbins thing, but it's so, so important to understand who we needed to be for our parents, because that then goes on through our relationships and the way we live our lives and everything. So I'll put something together, and for anybody that wants to, have a closer look at that, I'll put a few questions down, and because it is so
super good. Because it's really, really amazing, because those first 7 years are our blueprints for life. Like, our parents unwittingly, or we're more conscious now. And if you want to do some work with conscious parenting, have a look at Dr. Shefali's work. She's doing some amazing stuff. So if you have a look at the blueprints your parents hand you for how to be loved, how to be liked, how to do the right thing, they're doing their best, obviously. But to be accepted and loved, we must do the things that our parents praise us for, or we risk being rejected from our family. And that risk of being rejected could mean death. Well, our brain thinks it means death, because it did used to mean death way back in the caveman days.
Which we're still at subconsciously.
So our subconscious mind.
In that way.
Yeah, definitely is programming all the time for safety. So that's why fear is such a huge thing. We're always looking for safety. So always looking through the lens of fear, especially if we're stressed, in our stress state. So looking through the lens of love is when we open up and get the pineal gland activating. So anyway, our brain's an amazing place. So people being angry at us and being scared and feeling not good enough for our parents is how we carry through every other relationship in our life. So that not being good enough for love feeling is a deep core wounding for most of us. So the I am enough statement is, so everybody needs to have that somewhere in their house, that I am enough. Because when you close your eyes and feel your heart and think, I am enough, that is such a beautiful way to be grounded in the moment where you feel like you're not being enough. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just take a breath, and that I am enough, and then giving you that self-love in that moment is so important. So anyway, so the first human need is to be loved and held. And there's the most talked about study that I hear is the study with the orphans, and if they and it was in the 1940s or something, orphanages used to just let babies lie down and just feed them with a bottle, and they weren't picked up. And those babies died, like literally died, because they weren't being held. And so as a human, we need to be held, we need to be loved to thrive and survive. So we will always go for an attachment, even if it's not a good attachment. We'll always go for attachment over authenticity to survive. So So, you know, don't feel bad about not knowing what boundaries are, not knowing what your boundaries are, because just understand that as a baby, as a child, and that inner child might not be healed, it might still be carrying core wounding, that's okay. But that child is still going for attachment over authenticity. A lot of adults are running around as in a child, that they're in adult bodies. So a lot of people, yeah. Sorry, I digress.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say that, like, it's such a complex subject that we're talking about at the moment. So if anyone is watching this back and has more questions about that, because I keep wanting to like interject, like it is so diverse, so complex. So if anybody watching this back has any questions, please just get in contact with us. We'll put our details on there, because yeah, there's so much information in this subject, isn't there? So yeah. So I'll move along. The risk of rejection is a big one anyway. So I just want to highlight that you're not wrong for not knowing how to set boundaries. You just have to understand that it's attachment versus acceptance, which is what this next slide is saying. So what stops us setting the boundaries? So if we distill it down, it looks like this: authenticity, being myself, or acceptance. So if I'm authentic, there might be possible rejections. People might think I'm a little bit cray-cray. I am. So that you're risking that possible rejection. I still love you.
Oh, thanks, Jules. And then acceptance equals safety. So to be accepted, what do I have to do? Be, say, where, all of that sort of stuff. So that equals safety. So as a human being, safety means aliveness. You know, we will stay living. So when we fear rejection, so rejection equals death in our limbic system. That is why we will always go for acceptance over authenticity. Huh?
Can I touch
Was that
on
like
that
a truth bomb?
Sorry?
Was that like a truth bomb for you?
Yeah, it was a truth bomb. It's really, really cool. So I'm just going to explain that a little bit more. So,
oh, look at you.
Earlier.
The conscious, unconscious.
This is just from a session I did the other day, but I was just looking at it when you said that, and I was like, okay, so I'm just going to explain this really, really quickly. So
the ring light. Hang on, the ring light's making a funny circle on that.
Hang on. Turn off. Okay, is that better?
Can everybody see that? Hopefully they can see it. Are you able to sit a little bit closer, maybe?
Yeah, one sec.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you can see that. Okay, so we've got the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So the conscious mind is just 5% of our mind. The unconscious mind is 95%. And the unconscious mind is literally here to protect us. So I won't go into too much detail, but when we're looking at what you were just talking about, Sarita, being safe or being able to say no. So boundaries come into play quite a lot here, because in our conscious mind, we're like, yes, I want to, you know, do this, and I want to be able to say no to people, etc., etc. But our unconscious mind is purely here to keep us safe, and it holds all our beliefs and programming and everything. So, you know, if we were going to like go on a skiing trip and it's outside of your comfort zone, our unconscious mind is like, no, stay on the sofa. Don't go on a skiing trip, stay on the sofa, stay safe. So yeah, we have to like really just look at the fact that we need to get into our conscious mind when we're making the decisions to either, you know, say to someone, yep, that's fine, when it's actually not fine, because that's our unconscious mind trying to keep us safe.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yes, and very, very good. Thank you for bringing that bit up, Jules. Yeah, so unconscious mind, 5%, subconscious 95%. So getting in there and doing that self-hypnosis or hypnosis or some sort of subconscious mind work really, really helps. And it's what transformed my life. Hugely, because it helped me see all the patterning and programming that I was carrying around that had to be healed for me to live. Because because it keeps you safe, but it really keeps you stuck.
Yeah.
So we needed attachments to our parents when we were little, but those attachment styles, they don't work out there in the real world always. Sometimes if you're really securely attached and everything like that, that still works throughout the world, but sometimes attachment bonding to parents can be really kind of destructive out there in the real world. So anyway, let's go on to the next one. And what do we say? So what I want you guys to do is just write down and make commitments to yourself to say what you mean. So you might write down different commitments, but I've put down here, I will say yes when I feel it in my body as a yes, and I will say no when I feel that in my body. And I will ask for time to consider if I don't feel either or. So yeah, and that can happen quite a bit, because you might not feel like you want to go to a rally about so and so.
If I can give a quick example, I went to I hope she doesn't see this.
Oh, turn your light back on, honey.
Sorry, it's the lights in bed.
Yeah. Now you're not looking so glowing and delightful. Oh, there you are, glowing and delightful.
So yeah, just to give an example, and I hope she doesn't see this. So it was my friend's 50th the week before last, and we were all meant to be going out on a wine tour. And I didn't really know her friends so much. And I went round there at 9:30 in the morning, and I was like, I have to go out for my friend's 50th. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And I got round there, and everyone at 9:30 in the morning was so loud and so drunk, and I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
And I really had to make that decision. I was like, okay, even though it's going to upset her a little bit that I don't go, if I had have stayed there the whole day, gone on the bus, gone through the wineries, and then had to be on the bus for 45 minutes on the way home, it wouldn't have ended well for anyone, because I don't really do well in those kind of situations. So I just had to say, look, I'm sorry, I can't. And that was really hard to do. It was really hard to do. But I was just like, I can't.
Well done.
Yeah,
high five you.
I know, but I had to do it. So it's just a little example,
Yeah.
And just say no.
It's not fun for everybody being drunk at 9:30 in the morning, like it used to be for me in my 20s.
Oh, they were so loud. They were so loud. You wouldn't even. I was just like, ugh.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes we're in a space where our soul's just crying to get out, and if we ignore that, that's it.
We've been talking about trusting your gut instinct.
Yeah,
I knew that I would have just absolutely not done well that day. So.
Well, thank you for that example. So So moving on to what do we say? So coming up to Christmas, you may have identified parents or family members as narcissistic, and they're a really special breed to set boundaries with, because they violate boundaries all the time, and don't even consider you as a person. If they're really narcissistic, they consider you as an object or a pawn to be used in their games. So you could try the grey rock technique and just talk about the weather to them, and wear undelightful clothes and no makeup, nothing. Do not try to impress a narcissist. Just do your best to just don't talk to them. But if they are a parent, you'll need to be engaged for a moment, and mostly on that Christmas day. So if they kind of bring up something embarrassing, they'll usually have some sort of story that they want to tell about you, about the time that you did this and you did that and blah, blah, blah. Or they say, and if you react, they'll keep going, because that's their little supply, and that's their little fun game to see you upset and reactive. So just keep brushing it off and keep just holding your center and going, that's an interesting point of view. I didn't know you feel that way. And you can just say, I'm sorry you feel that way. And you can say, I'll have to accept your perception of me because everyone's entitled to their perception or their opinion. And if you do want to make a little line in the sand, you can say, I'm feeling disrespected. I'm not willing to continue this conversation right now. You can say those words. I'm giving you permission to say those words right now. That's your permission. Go. And then if they're just word salading you, like just spitting all sorts of crazy words at you, I've had that before. You can say, are you saying that I need your permission to feel my feelings? Or are you suggesting that your reality is more important than mine? You know, you can say these things and they'll be like, oh, they're saying something. They're, you know, that will give you a very confused sort of look. And then you're quite welcome to walk away. You don't have to engage. You don't have to do anything more than ask them a question about their reality, and if they think that theirs is more valuable than yours, and you don't have to get upset. Please just watch their mouths moving, understand that they're mostly a toddler trying to get their own way, and then just don't let it in. Just remember, you don't have to let anything that they say in. You know, they quite often will say something hurtful, something triggering, because they'll know your core woundings and they'll know the buttons to press. And you can just be trigger proof around them and just go, I know you're trying to trigger me, but I'm not going to be triggered. And you can just laugh it off as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just on that, Han, like there's a couple of things that I tell my clients to do. One is put a mirror bubble around you. So if you're dealing with a narcissist or someone that is having constant jabs at you, or, you know, whatever it may be, just picture yourself in a bubble, a reflective bubble, and anything that they say to you just goes back to them.
That's a beautiful one.
It's a reflection of themselves. So yeah, just a mirror bubble. Or another one that I like to use, because I have a couple depending on who it is.
Yeah.
Is because I like to play tennis occasionally. So I picture myself as a brick ball, and anything negative that someone is saying to me, I'm just like, whatever. They're just tennis balls, like coming off the ball. They're just bouncing back to them. So
brilliant.
Just a couple of things that you can use, just or just have a straight mirror in front of you. Any of those things, just like let it reflect back to them.
Another technique that I've found that my brain just does is that I imagine like a reflective drain that their words are hitting and then going back towards them. So it's like a drain pipe. It's just like a curved drain pipe that goes back to them. And then it's just draining straight back to them, so that they're not draining you.
Exactly.
And they're not getting of their supply from you. I had a lady that was just complaining about something, and I was just standing there going, nodding, oh yeah, and then this drain just comes up for me, reflecting and draining that back to them, because I could see that they wanted me to buy into the story that they were saying about the complaint, and I knew that anything I said was of no value. No value. Yeah.
And the power of visualization. Can't talk.
I love that mirror bubble.
So yeah. I only heard that a couple of days ago, but yeah, the power of visualization. What can I talk? Visualization is so much more powerful than you think. Like if you, because it goes into your subconscious, right? So when you're, you know, picturing yourself in that way, you think that it's going to have a little bit of effect. It actually has a huge effect. It's huge. So don't underestimate that.
Yeah, and I'm sure that a lot of these moments in the year you'll be dealing with narcissistic people at the shops as well, like that think that they need to reach in front of you or get in front of you at the line, or you'll notice them. You'll just notice them. You may not, but quite often you will, that they feel entitled to have everything that they want and need, and you are just in their way, and you need to be moving faster. You need to be getting out of their way, that kind of thing. And it's just like, you can just notice, just have a look around the shops. You might be able to pick them out. So it's good to be a little narcissist spotter, especially if you take on other people's energy, if you're a little bit of an empath. Just noticing, putting those shields up, learning to armor yourself against that energy. And just whatever your mind comes up with that works for you, perfect. And so if they're not narcissistic, and if they really do love you, if they're a really caring person, and they may be ready to hear your authenticity, then you can pick your time. And if they are ready to hear that authentic version of you and how you really feel, then you can share yourself and go for that vulnerability of opening yourself up to being rejected. And I found that those who reject you, it's because you trigger something in them that they're trying to hide, or that they're not ready to express them themselves. Good example of this was I asked, pardon?
So true.
Yeah, because a good example of this was so you know when you're first meeting someone, and okay, I must take this on board as maybe I did go a little bit too deep for first time meeting someone, but when you meet someone and say, oh, what do you do? And then I was thinking, I'm so not, I don't care about what you do. I want to know what you bring to this earth to give. Anyway, so I was just like, hey, well, what are you passionate about? And oh my gosh, the fear, the micro movement around people's eyes when they're really taken aback and they're like, oh, like she was like deer in the headlights, like, oh my God, what am I passionate about? It was like, oh my God, that's too deep a self-inquiry. I'm not ready for that self-inquiry right now. And I thought, oh, I've really offended her. Oh my gosh. So people aren't always willing to share that authenticity, or if you trigger them like that, they're just not ready at that level to express that part of themselves. Or she obviously just hadn't had that level of self-inquiry yet. And so I probably triggered her to be like, oh, what am I passionate about? I don't even know, So so I mean, Sarita did not pick her moment there, but it was just as an example to when people are ready to hear your authentic self and such, it might be triggering them about something they're not ready to express. So just be aware of that. So if there is an awkward moment, you're helping them level up and do that self-inquiry, do that self-knowledge, and do that self-acceptance, which is just really important.
Don't take it on board as your stuff. It is their stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, remembering to be your authentic self may mean a period of that awkward and uncomfortable navigation of a new way of relating in the relationship. And that will pass if the relationship is worth keeping, if the relationship is based on love and kindness toward each other. So otherwise, just distance, space and time is really good to allow for those shifts to be felt by either party, and then the love to seep in and return to that relationship. So there's a lot to try, and I hope this helps you around this really important time of year where we're bumping into lots of different people. There's lots of energy around and lots of happiness, and there's lots of sadness too, and there's lots of really a lot of hurt and pain around this time of year, and that's what me and Julie want to do. We just want to help you with that hurt and pain, and help with the healthy clearing of that, help with the healthy rebuilding around that. So
absolutely. So I just want to share something really, really quickly. So I don't have a relationship with my brother anymore, and this time of year, it was to do with his wife, and this time of year is very, very, very hard. So it's easier for me to say, I'm just not doing Christmas. Like, it's hard for my mum, it's hard for my kids, it's hard for everyone. And so I don't want you to think that we're kind of like coming on here like, oh no, we've got it all sorted.
We don't.
we don't. But, you know, we're going to put our contact details up, and, you know, anything that we can do to help, any questions you may have, please reach out. And, you know, I hope that this has been informative and helped you to have a few tools to use over the holiday period or just in everyday life as well. So thank you, Sarita, for joining me on this.
Thank you, Julie, for joining me on this. Yeah, we're going to do a lot more of this kind of stuff together. So keep your eyes out. Do message us. Do send us your emails. We'd love to hear from you. Every person we touch and make an impact on is like a joy for us. We do just feel so blessed to be able to help. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but we do.
It's cheesy, but it's fucking true. There, I've taken the out by putting a fucking in there. Okay.
Oh yeah, that always eases the situation. Yeah, drop an F-bomb.
Yeah, and any feedback as well. Any feedback, you know, what we could do better, because this is our first time, right? So anything to do better. Like, don't have a go at us for the technological side of things. We'll figure that out, right?
We will figure out the Chico side, yeah.
In regards to content, what we could add, what we could remove, anything like that, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and we would love to hear if we've helped you as well. Send us your thanks if you found it great.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And
thank you.
Love you.
See ya, love you. Bye.